6%, 5%, minus 5% for all minimums, including residual bases. Their counters were 4%, 3%, minus 2%, one-time increase the most residual bases. Streaming features. Streaming features with a budget of $12 million or more receive full theatrical terms, including better initial compensation. Made for HBS VOD programs, 96-plus minutes with a budget for $40 million or more receive a 9% increase to initial compensation. No improvement in residuals. Guaranteed second step. Require a second step if hired for a screenplay for less than 250% of minimum. They rejected that part of the proposal, countered by offering meetings to educate creative executives and producers about screenwriters' free work concerns. Weekly pay, 50% pay upon commencement, and the remaining 50% to be paid out weekly over the writing period. Applies if the writer is paid less than 250% of the minimum. Writers above this threshold have the right to opt into weekly pay. They rejected that, didn't even make a counter. Establish minimums for streaming. Extend television Appendix A terms to high-budget shows made for SVOD, including weekly minimums, 13-week guarantees, and residuals based on aggregate. Appendix A, weeklies apply only to high-budget comedy/variety programs made for SVOD. Budget break is $700,000 for a 30-minute show, $1.15 million for a 60-minute show. No aggregate for or 13-week guarantees would apply, and writers can be employed on a daily rate basis. Are union lawyers comparable to corporate lawyers? Like, will the writers get fucked regardless, or will this not go to court? Wait, what do you mean? I mean, the writers are currently fucked because they're on strike, but I don't really know what you mean by that. What do you mean? No, union, like labor lawyers are different. These are the guys that AMTP is talking to are the Writers Guild, the Writers Guild leadership that is democratically organized to. They're democratically organized to make these contract bargaining agreements and set the terms. They set these terms after listening to the demands of the rank and file within the union. Sometimes they even vote for certain terms. And then once the contract is sent over to the AMPTP, which is, whatever, the owner side, right? In this circumstance, is the AMPTP, but it's identical in every single other process with the exception of like public, industries and union workers that work in like certain public sectors that have a necessity for survival. But you go to the workers' side, or the workers get together, they decide the terms of the contract, they say these are our demands. Then the AMPTP or the owner side looks at those terms and says, we like this, we'll concede to this, here's what we won't concede to, and then they send it back. At that point, WGA has an opportunity, the leadership has an opportunity to say, okay, we will concede on your we will concede basically, and this is a good contract. So what happens after that? Because it doesn't end there. What happens after that? Democracy Now! On the strike with an interview. First of all, virtual meal. This is the Associated Press.
If it happens, it will be necessary.
Actually, you know what? I don't want to watch this. Let's finish this off with the Democracy Now! Interview.
Over 11,000.
And then after that, we'll get to the Aiden Ross drama.
Hollywood, TV, and movie writers have gone on strike. The strike began at midnight Pacific time over contract and after contract negotiations failed. In a statement, the Writers Guild of America said writers are facing a, quote, existential crisis, in part because pay and working conditions have deteriorated in recent years due to the rise of streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime. The union said, quote, the company's behavior has created a gig economy inside a union workforce, and their immovable stance in this negotiation has betrayed a commitment to further devaluing the profession of writing, unquote. The strike is expected to halt Hollywood productions and force late-night TV shows to go dark. They'll run tape. On Monday, Jimmy Fallon, the host of The Tonight Show, voiced support for his writers ahead of the start of the strike.
I support my writers, but we have a lot of staff and crew that will be affected by this, they got to get a fair deal. So, I'll do whatever I can to support them, and hopefully there is no strike and they can figure out a deal.
I hope not either.
Yeah, I need my writers. I need them real bad.
You need your writers.
Yeah, I got no show without my writers.
That was Jimmy Fallon at the Met Gala, where Quinta Brunson also spoke. She's the creator of the award-winning ABC hit comedy Abbott Elementary.
I'm a member of WGA and support WGA and, you know, them getting what us getting what we need. So I hope that no one wants to strike, but I hope that we're able to rectify this, whatever that means.
That was Quinta Brunson, creator of the award-winning ABC hit comedy Abbott Elementary. We're joined now by Brittany Nichols, writer on Abbott Elementary, who's now on strike, a Los Angeles-based captain for Writers Guild of America's WET. Brittany Nichols, welcome to Democracy Now! The strike is just hours old at this point. Also, congratulations on Abbott Elementary. What an amazing, fantastic show about the Philadelphia school.
Okay. When you say, you know what, TV and movies have been shit lately, so maybe they need a reality check. Brother, are you fucking stupid? It's like saying, well, you know, the Lakers are not playing up to, well, Lakers are not a good example right now. You know what, the Grizzlies are not playing well enough. They need a reality check. They should get paid less. Is an idiotic assessment. Because it's not just the fucking Grizzlies that are getting paid less. The Lakers are getting paid less too. And not only that, but also, it's not about, they are making demands, okay? They're making demands, and whether you like it or not, whether you like the content or not, the content is still making money. This is not about like extra money that is going to come from like somewhere else that is going to materialize. This is money that is going back to the fucking shareholders in the form of profits. Okay? Stop saying ni hao and Dylan Brooks is going to China. Okay? Shut the fuck up. That has nothing to do with anything. Do you understand? Because whether you like it or not doesn't change the reality that like a lot of people clearly do, and it makes money. Please understand that. There's plenty of fucking dog shit TV shows that I do not watch. Okay? Like the NBA, as a matter of fact, which is scripted television. Everybody knows this. This year, they're scripting a LeBron victory, so it's fine.
Schools and the amazing teachers and the kids inside. But I wanted to ask you, starting with what's happening right now and what you're demanding as you go to the picket lines.
We are demanding that this industry be one that can sustain a career. It's sort of as simple as that. We have a consistently profitable business, but right now the actions of the studios are ones that seem like they only care about Wall Street. They're chasing a rabbit they're never going to catch, and in that pursuit, they're running over the workers of this industry.
So explain exactly how it works. You know, people watch these TV shows and movies nonstop, but really have very little idea of what goes into making them. And why exactly streaming has, well, you talk about creating a gig economy. Explain what you mean.
So the studios have devalued our contributions. They have shifted the industry to prioritize streaming while not following that up with the actions of making sure that our pay reflects those changes. A lot of the ways that writers are able to sustain a career are through residuals. That means that we're taking part in that profit participation when a show gets re-aired or a show gets sold or a movie gets aired. That's when we get a little bit of that pie, and the amount of the pie that we're getting in streaming is almost non-existent.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. That's it. That's it. People are like, oh, well, these fucking poor streamers, they're not making enough money. No, that's bullshit. What do you mean? TV didn't want to do that either. They used the same arguments back then. And guess what? Strikes happened and things changed. It's literally just about a percentage of the profits that they want returned back to them. Profits that they are generating. The entire point of a fucking writer's strike or any kind of industry-wide strike is to show the bosses that without them, there is no value. Without them, you lose $2 billion fucking dollars. That's it.
And talk about the various streaming companies, who you are actually negotiating with. Name names.
Well, there's Hulu, Peacock, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, a lot of pluses, Netflix and Amazon, I believe, are the big ones.
And explain the position they're taking.
I mean, they're taking the position of rejecting our proposals and refusing to make a counter. With all of our major proposals, that is the feedback that we've gotten thus far. They have forced us to go on strike by not engaging. They sort of have said, we do not care that you all can no longer make a career in this industry. They just want to continue to get as much work out of us for the least amount of money. I think that that's not something that's unique to our industry. It's something that has been happening and will continue to happen. And we're standing up to it. We have to take a stand or there won't be television writers anymore. They will negotiate us out of existence.
And Brittany, explain how the networks are connected to the streaming services. It's not two entirely separate spheres.
Yeah, so the studios all own these services. I mean, they came up with it. Writers didn't come up with these streaming services. They came up with them. That is a large part of the profit that they are now bringing in, and they continue to invest in these services. So, every 3 years, you probably hear these studios crying poor and behaving as if they're like these mom and pop businesses while they rake in billions and billions of profits. But they are the ones who caused this shift, and so they should be responsible for paying the workers that are now providing the product that they continue to turn out and put on these streaming services fairly.
In March, you shared a graph of writers working at MBA minimum. MBA stands for Minimum Basic Agreement. Talk about the problems with compensation in your industry, especially for writers of color like yourself. You also tweeted, our minimum wage has become our ceiling.
Yes, so it used to be that I think 10 years ago, a third of writers were working at that baseline, and now half of all writers are working at that baseline. TV writer pay has fallen 23% when you adjust for inflation. So it's really affecting every writer from staff writer all the way up to showrunners.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah. The last time negotiations was before Breaking Bad, Stranger Things, Game of Thrones. It's so crazy. People are like, well, content has been bad. Yeah, I mean, some good content came after that as well. So, but qualitative assessments are bullshit in this regard because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Whether you like the show or not doesn't matter. Big Bang Theory is one of the fucking most popular shows in television. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter. We all make fun of it. Bazinga, you know what I mean? But guess what? Bazinga made a lot of fucking money. So those writers deserve to take a percentage of those fucking profits. Okay? WGA has made a list of demands that will cost $500 million a year across an entire industry. Every studio, every streaming service, every film, every show, every writer, total cost $500 million. I don't agree with that. It might be a little bit, no, I don't think it's only $500 million. The studios can easily afford it. That part is true. It's $469 million. It's on the document. I mean, WGA proposals would gain writers approximately $429 million per year. AMPTP's offer is approximately $86 million per year, 48% of which is from the minimums increase. It doesn't matter how much it costs because they can still fucking pay for it. I assume it would probably be. It seems like that's a conservative estimate. You know what I mean? Having a minimum week of work and hiring a writer in post production is part of the 500 million. Yeah, I mean, it's wild to consider that, like, it's close to one CEO's salary. Like, it's close to the fucking William Morris Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel's salary. It would come from profits. For the AI, they want to regulate the use of artificial intelligence on MBA covered projects. AI can't write or rewrite literary material, can't be used as a source material, and MBA covered material can't be used to train AI. That's a perfectly reasonable fucking thing. They're not saying AI can't work. Okay? Like they're not saying that like writers can't utilize AI. They're saying that studios can't utilize AI to substitute for writers or offer rewrites. Can you imagine getting a rewrite from fucking ChatGPT? Are you insane? I'd lose my fucking mind, dude. Each member of a team gets P&H contributions as if they were writing as an individual. Tentative agreements, script fees for staff writers. They receive script fees on top of their weekly span increase span cap from 400,000 to 450. Basic cable to remain at 375. Extend span protection for writers on limited series. Options and exclusivity increase earnings cap from 325,000 to 350,000. P&H diversion, WGA option to divert 5.5% of negotiated minimums increase to pension or health. So important for Amy for talking about money and profits with respect to the WGA. I just feel like it's the writer's job to create stuff that gets eyeballs, and it's the executive's jobs to turn eyeballs into money. So there's not enough money, then executives should get fired, right? Because the writers are for sure doing their job. Literally all I do is watch TV. We can't hire more people because of math. Okay, so do other math. You went to business school. You're telling me you can't find a business solution? This is such a dumb take, but it's so true at the same time. Like the basic principles behind sentiment like this is totally valid. Whenever someone goes, we're having a hard time justifying revenue on the Twitch platform, that's why we need to do like a 50-50 sub split. I'm like, but your job is to find new ways of doing that. That doesn't harm the workers on the, the ones that are doing the labor on the platform. Like, what do you, what do you mean? Like, do the job that you're supposed to be doing. Do the job better. Like, that's crazy. But everyone is so used to just being like, nah, I'm going to show my belly. I'm going to capitulate. You know what I mean? Famous Actors Guild? What? Oh, this guy's writing FAG. Nice one, dude. I thought he was making a joke about, like, actors not being famous or some shit on Twitch. Good one, dude. You got it, dude. Fucking get wrecked. It's so funny because that's a Team America joke. Okay, maybe we'll unban him. But like, this entire community is gay as fuck and say the F word so liberally. How are you gonna fucking flub on a joke? How are you gonna fucking flub on a joke that, like, is not landing in a community that loves saying the F word? Anyway. I had a day rate when I worked on SpongeBob. While my day rate was okay, they only had us in the room 1 day a week, and every Friday I would find out if I was coming back or not. I made $14K that year. That's what the studios want. Oh. That's fucking gross. According to the WGA, the negotiating committee, the studios are pushing for a day rate for comedy and variety writers. Truly horrifying. We won't survive something like that. It's similar to how nursing homes and hospitals cry about having trouble finding staff. They only want to give casual or part-time hours and no benefits. No wonder they can't hire or keep people. Yes, that is friend of the show, Josh Androsky. For anyone that wants to do stuff, what the WGA has so far asked for supporters to do: sign your org on to stand with the writers, share the facts in their social media toolkit for your friends and family, follow WGA for updates. Ten years ago, 33% of TV writers were paid minimum. Now half work at minimum. Entertainment segment operating profits in the billions went from $5 billion in profits in 2000 to $28 billion in 2021. It's crazy that the entertainment industry is the last place of labor power in America. WGA, Actors Equity, Screen Actors Guild, IATSE, please support your local theater and artists. I mean, it's not that crazy. It's that and sports. Players unions.
It's a product of this corporate cannibalization, and our decreased, not even just stagnant wages, are making it impossible for anyone to put a career together.
Can you talk about what happens next? I mean, for people who watch TV, the late night shows will now go to tape. You had people like Colbert and others expressing support for the Writers Guild of America. Colbert is a member of the Writers Guild of America, showing pictures of all the writers saying, we can't do it without them. So what happens now as you take to the streets, as you take to the picket line today across the country?
Yeah, writers are the backbone of this industry. Nothing gets made without us. And I think that the studios will be in for quite a rude surprise when they realize that though they do not value us or our contributions, they do not have a product without us. We will be at the studios protesting, or not protesting, picketing, and joining each other in solidarity so that we can all go through this as a guild. We are committed to making sure that all of our writers, make it to the other side of this, because we know there will be another side, because we know we're going to win. There is no industry without writers. We are the only generative people in this industry. Everything else is based on what is on that page. And if we're not putting anything on that page, there's nothing that anyone else can do.
Can you talk about the shows that will be affected, or is it everything across the board? And how does this affect the later season, which, of course, is going to put a lot of pressure on the...
Dude. Why is it that they do this every time? Bro, you sign off every day at the same time. I eat every day at the same time. I promise you. If you look back at my stream, okay, you probably come in here at 2 p.m. Pacific, which is when I eat my lunch and only fucking meal that I eat on camera. And you come in here at the same time every day and you go, why is he always eating at the same time? Not realizing that I am a human being. Streams for 8 fucking hours a day. And of course, I'm going to have to eat on camera in that process. Every other streamer does this. I don't assume that they get this much shit. Y'all rocking with eating lunch at lunchtime, dude? It's so dumb. People go crazy. XG barely eats. Bitch, that motherfucker eats his toenails. What do you mean?
Producers, the people who are demanding these shows. And what happened with deadlines? Did they move them up to get shows written before the strike?
That was up to each individual writer how much they were going to deal with people looking to have the materials turned in by yesterday. I know a lot of people wanted to turn their stuff in because then, if you complete your assignment, then they have to pay you, even though we'll be on strike, you will have completed your contract. So there was a lot of pressure on writers, and that shows exactly what our labor is worth. When we withhold our labor, people panic. People were scared that there wasn't going to be anything in the pipeline to go out and create, and that's true. We are going to continue to withhold our labor, and that means everything from not taking meetings to not putting anything in that pipeline to not showing up for work. And that means that shows might get delayed. I mean, Abbott Elementary was supposed to go back to the room this week. We are a show that writes while we air. And so if this strike goes on for a significant period of time, our show will not come out on time. And that could change the amount of episodes, which people, I'm sure, will be very upset about. It could change the air date. It could change a lot of different things, because there just will not be things going into that pipeline. There will not be us participating in anything that will bring profit to this industry. And that is going to cause a disruption. That's what we're counting on.
Finally, the 2007 strike, 2007, 2008, went on for 100 days.
100 days,
What
man.
did you gain from that strike? What did you accomplish?
So I was not part of that strike. I was, I think, still a teenager at that point. But one of the things that we gained was domain over the internet. That's when all of these streaming services were first popping up, and YouTube was a thing. And what the studios were saying was that you all should not have any payment for anything that goes online. So we're used to them saying that we should not have.
Can you imagine? Like this is what I mean. This is why it makes me so mad when I look at striking workers and people getting mad at them and acting like they're asking for so much. It's always the same shit. It's always the same shit. DVD sales are invented, okay? And then the studios are like, nah, this is our work, actually. We did it all by ourselves. I know it's still your work that we're putting on the DVD, but it's actually my work now, I decided. You know what I mean? It's like, what? What do you mean? I put in work into that. You can't just, what? And then online streaming services come out. And they're like, I made this now. I can just put it on an online streaming service, and it's my work now, actually. I'm just going to keep all the profits. It's like, wait, no. It's the same fucking work. It's the same work. If you're distributing it on other network television shows, or if you're putting it on a fucking DVD, it's still the same work. You retain a piece of those profits.
Hey man, did you make this? This is really funny.
Yeah, I did. I can't believe how many people like it.
I made this.
What?
I made this video.
No.
I made this.
I made
the thing
this
that you
video.
posted. I made this video.
This is mine. This was I created this video.
And they pulled the entire series when they're tired of paying residuals, i.e. Westworld. Yeah, there's that too. But
have access
bullshit.
to our fair cut of the pie, because they've done it every 3 years for the entirety of the existence of our union. And if we had not made those gains, if we had not gone on.
What did they concede to the writers' just demands and bump subscription prices to avoid management pay cuts and blame the union? Any way to counteract the greed to shift the blame? They can't do that. They usually can't do that. They'll say it's because of that anyway, but they already started doing that. Like, they already started fucking doing that. Okay? What streamer platform hasn't talked about a pay hike? Or like reducing the number of fucking IPs that can be on it, you know what I mean? Like reducing the number of like TVs that can be on it in the same family program or whatever. They're all doing it anyway. They're going to do that regardless. And then now they're going to blame it on the fucking writers, while also not giving the writers any of the fucking profits. That's the point. That's why it's fucking bullshit. A lot of those increases in what you pay for do not happen because of the writers potentially striking. They happen regardless. They happen why? Because they can get away with it. What do I always tell you? Companies will do whatever the fuck they can. Whatever they can get away with, they are going to do. HBO's going up to like $20 a month for 100% ad-free, and they announced that well before the strike. Yep. I'm sick and tired of everybody going, what do you always say? Oh, get nukes. No, that's not what I always say. I have said that. I've said that quite a lot, but that's not the only thing I always say. I say a lot of things over and over again. Okay? I repeat myself quite a bit.
Strike and put our foot down back then, there wouldn't be television writers now. We've already seen, how important it is for us to stand up for ourselves, because could you imagine all of the streaming shows that you know and love, writers not making any money off of those? That was the future that the studios wanted. They want to continue to push us down and bully us. And it's not even a matter of we don't want it to happen. We can't let it happen, or television writers will no longer be a thing. Television staffs will no longer be a thing, because no one will be able to afford it.
And before we go, if you can talk about your own show, the amazing Abbott Elementary, about the Philadelphia teachers, the show's...
Okay, Amy Goodman literally loves this show. You can tell. God, she's such a queen. I love her so much. She's my favorite lib. And she's not a liberal. Obviously, she's like far beyond that. But like, she does have a lot of lib aesthetic decisions that she makes, and I'll allow it. She's the GOAT. She's the queen. She is my queen. She is such a wonderful, kind soul.
His first season was nominated for 7 primetime Emmys, winning 3. Why it is so important to see shows like yours, Brittany?
I think that, right now, a lot of workers are feeling really downtrodden. I mean,
have you ever watched Abbott Elementary? I have not.
I think that, the issues that we're facing are rampant all across this country. And a show like Abbott, where you're seeing, working class people trying to do their best, it is a show where you can get some form of relief, some form of release. That's important. People want to be able to enjoy the time off that they have from performing labor. And we're lucky enough that our labor is what allows people to do that. And we want to get back to doing that. We want to get back to providing people an outlet, letting people have something to enjoy.
Supreme Chancellor Andy, thank you for the 30.
Joy and have something to look forward to.
Brittany Nichols, I want to thank you for being...
I'll be honest with you, okay? What is this? What do I always say? Be charitable. All cops lie. 30% of Americans can agree on anything. Bias wants to be confirmed. Whoever has more stickers on their car is more mentally ill. Every guy can be a 7. Islam is not a monolith. Find nukes. Okay, those are all things I say all the time. You actually nailed a bunch of them. Confidence is like a muscle. There's another one. Confidence is like a muscle. You just got to build it like a muscle. Everyone's a lib. What if it's cool anime stickers? Fuck you mean it's even worse. By the way, I want to say something here. Behind me is a beautiful, wonderful darling who I cherish. Why am I saying such positive things about her right now? You want to know why I'm saying such positive things about her right now? Because she hasn't been fucking crying for the past couple of hours. And contrary to popular opinion, it's not when she's crying that it's the hardest to raise her. It's when she's being super cute. Because I know that if I were to go over there, I can't stop myself right now. I'm probably going to inevitably go over there and, pet her belly and play with her a little bit because it's irresistible. I know for a fact that the moment after I do that, she is going to become a fucking demon. So contrary to popular belief, the hardest part of raising this dog is in her cutest moments, because I know I cannot right now play with her at all. Okay? I can't. Because if I do, she is going to get the zoomies and become a fucking demon. %50 demon, 50% sleep dog? Yes. Oh. How can you tell she's awake? No, she's not awake. She's 100% sleeping. You would know if she was awake.